Chris Mackowski of Emerging Civil War. I am standing at the end of Seawall Drive in Galveston, Texas. It's a little windy out here, so I'm going to resort to voiceover. But behind me is Bolivar Roads, the entrance to Galveston Bay, which has got some great Civil War history to it. Galveston was actually the largest city in Texas at the start of the Civil War, but being out on an island, it was largely indefensible, so Confederates didn't do a whole lot to defend it. The Federal Navy tried blockading the port as early as July of 1861, but blockade runners just acted with impunity and kept trade going. It wasn't until May of 1862 that the Navy actually tried to finally demand Galveston's surrender, but the ship's crew had scurvy and couldn't carry out the capture. It wasn't until October 4th that the Navy finally launched an attack, led by the gunboat Harriet Lane, and then the city finally fell. On New Year's Day, 1863, Confederates under Prince John Magruder recaptured the city using a pair of cotton-clad steamers that sailed down from Houston. They confronted 6 Union gunboats out here in the harbor. One cotton-clad, the Neptune, sunk, but the other captured the Harriet Lane. Another gunboat, the Westfield, grounded, and its crew blew the ship up rather than let it fall into Confederate hands. That explosion went early, killing a whole bunch of the Union Navy men. Now, as that naval battle raged, Magruder led a sneak attack into the city to capture the 260 men of the 42nd Massachusetts who were garrisoning the city. The New Englanders surrendered because they saw the grief that their Navy was having out in the water, but the ships didn't actually surrender, and they escaped to New Orleans. However, Confederates held Galveston for the rest of the Civil War. Where I started, out at the end of the seawall, it's the remains of Fort San Jacinto. It's a World War II era fortification. Their concrete deck is the remains of a 90mm gun, although defenses here have dated back to the early 1800s. We can also jump a little closer to downtown around the Pier 21 area, a little bit of a touristy spot. Lots of historic markers, some things to see down here. Behind me is the Galveston Channel. Off in that direction would be Bolivar Roads. There's just a ton of stuff to do and see in Galveston, and hope you have the chance to come down and explore for yourself. For Emerging Civil War, I'm Chris Mackowski. We'll see you online on the battlefield.